This is a great gift for me to be here this morning and to share some thoughts with you. I was telling somebody, I think the last time I was here preaching when I was about 25 years ago. Just yesterday, And it was part of our work as candidates for the diaconate that we come on the Sunday after Easter and preach at a church. And since this was close to my home church, St. Paul San Pablo, I was asked to come here. That's a long time. But I have been back at times since then. But it's good to see you. There's so many of you that I feel like I've grown up with. If we ever grow up. So one gift deserves another. And so I want to introduce you to a tradition that Reverend Stu Schlegel brought to this diocese many years ago. Reverend Schlegel was not only an Episcopal priest, he was also Dr. Schlegel, PhD, Professor of Anthropology at the University of California at Santa Cruz. He introduced the tradition of Bright Sunday, which we continue to celebrate at St. Paul San Pablo's. According to Father Stu, the Sunday after Easter and during the Easter season had been celebrated in the Middle Ages by many Greek and Slavic countries as a time of joy and laughter, a time of great fun and humor in honor of the resurrection of Christ. The joke was, and is, on Satan. Christ is risen, and all things are made new, and it is a time for celebration and joy, however it comes. And so, this morning, I'm going to share jokes with you to hopefully, underline hopefully, make you laugh. Everyone shares jokes with me to prepare for this celebration, and so buckle your seatbelts. There are several jokes that I decided not to share with you, including the one about the midget who was a fortune teller. He was a prisoner at Soledad prison, and he managed to escape. And so the joke became the one about the small, medium, at large. So, see, yeah, right, that's good. Okay, you're with me. Okay. I decided not to use that one. And the other joke that I decided not to use was the answer to the question, what do you get when you cross a termite with a praying mantis? The kids are always better at this stuff than we are. Anyway, the answer is a critter that says grace before eating your house. I won't use that one. But I did like the one about the number 7. This was a math teacher friend who told me this one. So why are all the numbers afraid of 7? Share this with your children when you go home. Why are all the numbers afraid of 7? 7, 8, 9. All right, we got the spirit of Bright Sunday. This is the spirit of Bright Sunday. But before I go any further, I wanted to share a story that a friend told me last Sunday. She asked her young daughter what the Sunday school lesson was about. The daughter answered, well, it was about, don't be scared, you'll get your quilt. Well, needless to say, the mom was a little perplexed. And later in the week, she ran into the priest at the grocery store and she asked him, so what was that morning Sunday school lesson about? And he said, be not afraid, thy comforter is coming. Cozy comforters. Well, do you remember Harpo, Groucho, and Chico Marx, the Marx Brothers? I mean, they're very, very famous. In the movie I saw recently, Harpo opens up a steamer trunk. It's one of those very large steamer trunks that stand quite high off the floor. And he finds Chico asleep in it. And so he Groucho says, well, what's wrong with him? And Harpo replies, oh, he has insomnia. He's trying to sleep it off. Well, when I sleep, I dream of a society where a chicken can cross the road without its motives being questioned. Another friend of mine told me the story of her poor brother. He was being released from the mental hospital, and the director spoke to him saying, George, you're ready to be released. We've done everything we can for you here, and you're cured. I'm cured? Said George. When I came in here, I was Abraham Lincoln, and now I'm nobody? You call that a cure? Let's hope George drove home carefully and didn't look back. Unfortunately, Locke's wife in the Old Testament did look back at Sodom and Gomorrah, and she turned into a pillar of salt. When 6-year-old Jason heard his Sunday school teacher tell that story, he announced triumphantly, well, my mommy looked back once while she was driving, and she turned into a telephone pole. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, we pray that doesn't happen to us, which then leads us to the question of what is the best way to pray? There was a priest, a minister, and a guru. They sat discussing the best positions for prayer while a telephone repairman worked nearby. Well, kneeling is definitely the best way to pray, the priest said. No, said the minister, I get the best results standing with my hands outstretched to heaven. You're both wrong, the guru said. The most effective prayer position is lying down on the floor. The repairman couldn't contain himself any longer. Hey, fellas, he interrupted, the best praying I ever did was when I was hanging upside down from a telephone pole. I found another suggestion for praying. It was a little boy who was getting ready for bed. He kneels down, he puts his hands together reverently, he pauses for a moment, and he says to his sister, I think I've made a new theological discovery. She says, what is it? And he replies, if you hold your hands upside down, you get the opposite of what you pray for. Try it. See what happens. I pray that you all have something enjoyable planned this afternoon. Walk along the ocean, take a walk out in this beautiful area, play golf. Oh yes, that reminds me of a story. Two of my retired friends decided they would go out and try to play a round of golf together. They get on the first tee and one person turns to the other and says, my eyesight isn't what it used to be. Can you watch my ball for me? The other friend says, sure, I see fine. Go ahead and hit. So after the first person hits the ball, he says, did you see it? Did you see it? Sure, says his friend. Where did it go? The first person asked. His friend thinks for a minute and says, I can't remember. And then I found this definition. It's called the golf philosophy, definition of golf. An endless series of tragedies obscured by the occasional miracle. That's my kind of golf. And here's a few more idle thoughts of a retiree's wandering mind. I planted some birdseed. A bird came up. Now I don't know what to feed it. Here's another one. I went to San Francisco. I found someone's heart. Now what? Here's another wandering. Protons? Protons have mass? I didn't even know they were Catholic. That's for you scientists. And then there's atoms. Atoms. Never trust an atom. They make up everything. Well, let's go back to the golfer. The golfer went home. He told his wife the story. Oh my gosh, she said, let me tell you what happened to me. I called 911 to report that my car had been broken into. She continued, I had to explain to the dispatcher they'd stolen the steering wheel, the brake pedal, and even the accelerator. The dispatcher said, stay calm, and officer was on the way. Well, the woman said to her husband, you can imagine how embarrassed I was when the officer came, saw the situation, and radioed the dispatcher. Disregard. She got into the back seat by mistake. However, some people don't play golf. They watch sporting events on TV like football games. And so here's a story about that a friend of mine told me. There's always a friend of mine who tells me the stories. Took an exchange student from Sweden to her first football game. They had great seats right behind the team's bench. After the game, my friend asked her, well, how did you like the experience? Oh, I really liked it, she replied. All those huge men running up and down the field, but I just couldn't understand why they were killing each other for 25 cents. Well, dumbfounded, my friend asked her, well, what do you mean? Well, they flipped a coin, one team got it, and then for the rest of the game, all they kept screaming was, get the quarterback, get the quarterback. She continued, hello, it's only 25 cents. The past, the present, and the future walked into a bar. It was tense. And I want to prepare to leave you with some reasons, and these aren't jokes, reasons to be an Episcopalian besides Bright Sunday. No snake handling. You can believe in dinosaurs. Male and female, God created them. Male and female, we ordain them. You don't have to check your brains at the door. You get all of the beautiful pageantry of the liturgy, none of the guilt. You don't have to know how to swim to get baptized. And the number one reason to be an Episcopalian, no matter what you believe, there's bound to be at least one other Episcopalian who agrees with you. And finally, back to the message of Bright Sunday and the season of Easter. The medieval theologians tell us Satan swallowed Jesus up, dragging him into the depths of hell, but the joke was on Satan and all the powers of evil. Because in 3 days, Christ had burst out of that prison, freeing not only himself, but all of humanity from the clutches of evil for a life of resurrection. While life still holds its struggles and pain, we live in eternity, loved and cherished by the God of Isaac. Isaac, whose name means